Hey guys, iExpo360 here. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining the school shooting that happened in Georgia at Appalache High School. And it was a very horrible event that happened. And in today's video, I'm going to be diving into the details of what actually happened, and why it happened, and some of the actual preventative measures that we can start taking in order to prevent stuff like this. If you guys like the content that I'm putting out, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit the bell button down below. And leave a comment down below as far as what do you think could have went right. What would you have changed in this scenario? Let me know in the comments down below. And let's get right into the video. So guys, this shooting happened on September 4th around 10 a.m. at Appalache High School, which is located in Atlanta, Georgia, just outside. And so this is a very horrible event, which caused the death of 2 teachers and 2 students that attended the school there. The shooter's name is Colt Gray, and he's 14 years old, and the father's name is Colin Gray, and they were both charged with several counts of murder, obviously. And so shooter's father was 54 years old. They just had their court case today on September 8th. It's a very horrible event to listen to, very tragic. So after watching the court case today, the judge said that the shooter has a chance of life with or without parole, but does not qualify for the death penalty since he's under the age of 18. Now, reading off what the father's charges are, he has right now 2 counts of felony murder in the 2nd degree, and 4 counts of felony involuntary manslaughter, and then 8 counts of felony cruelty to children in the 2nd degree. And so that's the charges that the father got hit with as well. So the total sentence of the shooter is unclear right now, but they gave a time range for the father, which is around 180 years is the maximum. So it's very close to life in jail. Now here are the details on what exactly happened on September 4th during the shooting. So essentially the shooter, he essentially left class around 10 a.m., which is around 30 minutes into the school day. And he left, and then he tried coming back to his classroom with an AR, and he wasn't let into the classroom. To do that, he went to the classroom next door over and started opening fire into it, killing 2 teachers and 2 students in the process. Now the details about the shooter is, again, he's 14 years old. He was a transfer student to the school, and it was only his 2nd day there. The first day, he really, he went through the day, and then he went to the counselor's office essentially because he was having some anxiety issues. Then next day, 30 minutes into the day, he left around 10 a.m., went and grabbed his AR, and then came back and started opening fire. Now, as far as how the shooter got a hold of a AR, essentially he said it was a Christmas present that he had gotten from his father from Christmas before, and so essentially he had access to that, and it was able to bring it into the school. Now the motive of the shooter is unclear, and so there's still details that are developing, but I will update you guys as those come. Now we have the shooter and the shooter's father hit with charges. Now what about the shooter's mother? Well, the shooter's mother, she doesn't live with them. She's actually divorced from the shooter's father, and so she lives with her parents, I think a couple hours away with her parents in Georgia. Now about the shooter's mother, she did have some criminal history. Around the time the shooter did get the AR, around the time of Christmas, and so we know that this can lead to different things, such as a troubling childhood growing up. There was several charges as far as domestic abuse issues and stuff like that. So that can essentially signal that the shooter did have some troubling childhood issues growing up. Now, something else about the shooter's mother is essentially there was a report that got out today on September 8th that essentially the shooter's mother had called the school 30 minutes before, around 9:50, 9:45 a.m., warning them that her son was planning to do this, and told them to try to find him and track him down before it could even happen. And so the report is that the sheriff's department denied this claim, and then the school did not comment on it, and so they're still developing issues around this, but I'll update you guys as they come. Now another piece of this is the shooter's aunt. She took to Facebook and started posting saying that she'll support her nephew, or essentially the shooter, throughout any issues that he is having in the school, and so that she essentially said that he had to take matters into his own hands and deal with the trouble that he's having at school. And so this post has been taken down, it's deleted now, but she did face some backlash on Facebook because of this, and it had gone viral. And so because she had to face some backlash, she essentially deleted the post. Now, another key part of this is that the FBI had gotten a tip from a guy that had communicated with the shooter and his father on Discord. I'll put the screenshot of the whole text right here. Essentially, the guy on Discord essentially said that he knew that they had firearms, and he wasn't sure what they were going to do with them. And so there was some jokes being thrown around about the shooter, possibly going to a school and using the firearms, but it was never clearly directly mentioned. Now, this tip was given to the FBI at an unknown date, and so they linked the essentially the Discord account that was communicating with this other Discord user that gave the tip, and linked it back to the shooter. And so essentially that's how they were able to find that they were essentially able to get a tip from this other anonymous Discord user. Now, there's this classmate right here that was essentially, she used to sit next to the she sat next to the shooter when he was at school, and so she described him to be kind of like the stereotypical quiet kid. He wouldn't say much, and if he would say anything, it would be one-word sentences or maybe a single word at any time. But he was really quiet, and he wouldn't really do much. So right now, the details that we have is the shooter is apprehended, and he's under police custody. Same thing with the father of the shooter as well. They're both under police custody, and so there's an investigation being taken place right now around the school and what essentially happened. And so this is a very tragic incident, and we hope that this doesn't happen. I'll come back to the part where what things can we take, what steps can we take, or what measures can we take to prevent stuff like this from happening in the future. The first thing is the school actually equipped teachers with this card right here I'm showing up on the screen. This card right here essentially has a button on it, and you can click it, and it should be able to send a message or an emergency signal with the location of the card and where the faculty are and where the emergency is happening. Now, another system that the school had placed in was automatic locking doors, and so essentially that's why the shooter was not able to get into the original classroom that he left around 10 a.m. So like I said, he left his classroom around 10 a.m. went to grab his assault rifle, was walking back and tried to get access into his classroom. And the girl that I showed earlier, she said that her teacher actually got up to open the door for him, but then backed away, possibly after seeing what he had in his hand, which was an AR. So after not opening the door, he simply just went next door to the next classroom, started opening fire there. Now, there's no clear motive again behind why the shooter did this, but after he was apprehended, he said some chilling words like, "It's done." And so there's really no clear motive behind what the actual thinking was behind this, but during the investigation, I'll give you guys the issues that come out. So the school already had some preventative measures as far as, how to prevent any, incident like this happening. And so one thing that we can start doing is essentially having metal detectors put in schools. And I know it's put in schools in the Bronx, New York, where there's a lot of gang violence and stuff like that. And so, it should be possibly mandatory for every school to have essentially a metal detector, just to make sure that no one is essentially bringing firearms into schools. And essentially you can have people going in, and you can keep the school safe of any weapons and stuff like that. Now, a metal detector like that will cost around $2,000 to $3,000. Now, essentially schools, they can, if they cannot afford it, they can essentially start a fund in which parents and teachers, they can all fund this project, and it should be done within, it should be fairly easy to raise that much money for a metal detector. This is a great investment for schools, not just having sheriffs in the schools, but also having a metal detector to actually scan bags and understand if there are threats anymore where they can easily prevent it. Now, the second thing is that given that this was a transfer student, no one could actually imagine that this would happen, especially with the shooter, because he was a new student, and there's not much known about him. But essentially, you could possibly have some mental health checks for new students that are coming in, just to make sure, just to assess their mental health and how it is at the moment. And this should be possibly not just for transfer students, but for every student maybe going to a new year. Maybe have a mandatory health checkup as far as your mental health and where it's at. Now, given that given that the shooter had access to a firearm like this, it was essentially given to him by his father, and so this is essentially not the fault of gun laws, essentially, but the father having access to a firearm and giving it to the shooter was essentially a very, very large cause in this. Essentially, keeping your firearms away from your children is very key in stopping stuff like this, because many people they do have very, very dark thoughts in their mind, and so giving them firearms and weapons like this essentially allow them to manifest within these ideas, and so they start to lose control, and it leads to tragic incidents. Like, now, these are all the details that I have so far. Currently, this is September 8th, and I'll continue to post details as they come. If you guys would like any other specific details, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer them in the next video. If you guys like the details that I gave this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for more videos like this. Please make sure to share this video with other people that want to know more about the shooting and what exactly happened. And as updates come in, guys, I'll let you guys know on the next future videos more details about this investigation. I'll see you guys in the next one.